The Finance Minister, Enoch Ngwana, will table a tax amendment bill tomorrow, and that tax amendment bill will include a half a percentage point increase in VAT and no adjustment for inflation in personal income tax brackets. The fiscal framework passed by the National Assembly yesterday after an intervention by Action SA at the committee stage that supported the framework but recommended in a report that the tax increases be removed. Enoch Godongwana, and I quote him, "The report does not mean that the proposed tax increases will be removed. What the report says is that tax proposals are on the table for discussion." And Action SA has been making much of the fact that they supposedly saved South African consumers, taxpayers. If you're a South African and you buy anything, you're a taxpayer because just about everything you buy carries a VAT burden on it. Herman Mashaba, president of Action SA, joins us now. Herman, good afternoon. Thank you very much for making the time for us.
Good afternoon, John, and good afternoon to CapeTalk listeners.
What makes you confident that the recommendation will be acted upon and acted upon in a way that restores adjustment for inflation and personal income tax and removes the increase in VAT?
Well, I think let me firstly clarify the question of the process that the minister is obliged to follow. So it is for that reason that we must allow this process to happen. What I can assure South Africans is that 1st of May, there won't be any VAT included in our budget. There won't be any other tax additional taxes imposed on South Africans, and that's a report which was approved in the Standing Committee on Finance, which was proposed by Action SA, voted in by the majority yesterday, voted in Parliament. So let's give the Minister of Finance an opportunity to implement what Parliament has directed him to do. And
Parliament hasn't directed him to do anything, Herman. Parliament has recommended that he do something. There is a difference.
Well, I think please let's give him the opportunity. We are saying to you as Action SA, we don't work on fiction, so we work on ensuring that yesterday South Africa had to really have the budget. Because if we did not really have the budget, our country will be in big trouble by now. So we as Action SA realized others and wanted to save the country from international embarrassment. So I think let allow the process to unfold. Majority of parliamentarians yesterday agreed with our proposal, and what we can confirm with you is that come the 1st of May, the 28 billion rands that the minister proposed for VAT and the salary creeps would not really be in his budget.
Again, I ask you what makes you so confident. Did you get an absolute assurance? Because the minister has been he's been very keen to defend VAT as a way of raising the extra money that the country needs rather than resorting to further borrowing or cutting expenditure. So what kind of assurance did you get from the ANC that you are prepared to believe in that the VAT increase will be removed? I repeat, it's a recommendation. It's not a binding resolution.
John, that is why I'm saying is we've got 194 capable parliamentarians who we've engaged. We're not really talking about some kind of fiction here. We're talking about an arrangement which we sold to members of parliament, and they've agreed to ensure that we do not put our country in a situation where other parties' proposals were going to subject our country for not really having budget. So already I can confirm with you that discussions have already begun in ensuring that we look at other revenue streams or cutting the fat in the budget. There will be a budget which will really be in line with the budget presented, but it will exclude VAT and this remuneration creep.
Okay, a lot of people who are supposedly knowledgeable about parliamentary processes have been reporting that it's practically impossible to remove VAT from the bills by the 1st of May. That in order to do so, an amendment would have to be proposed and passed through Parliament, and that simply is not possible. And you're kind of staking your political reputation of the party that you chair on there being no VAT on May the 1st, where the law says there will be VAT on May the 1st.
But what is the role of Parliament, John, if you believe what people have obviously really come out with their own interpretation of the law? So this particular matter and our proposal checked with some of the senior legal brains in this country, and the commitment of members of Parliament. Parliament has got the powers to instruct, because what other political parties who are against this budget and our proposal are the ones who wanted to plunge our country into a financial crisis so that we can damage the image of our country. And that's precisely what Action SA did, to ensure that we have the budget, and the minister is working with our research teams, with the other political parties who voted with us, to ensure that we can meet the deadline, to ensure that by 1st of April there's no VAT in our budget. And that is going to be achieved.
I'd feel a lot more confident that you are correct if there'd been some kind of statement from the finance minister suggesting that he feels bound by the parliamentary vote yesterday. Because his statement that he said explicitly that, and I quote him again, now unfortunately I can't find it, but he said explicitly the fact that the budget was passed as it was passed yesterday contained only a recommendation. It was not by that. And if the finance minister said, don't worry, I take note of what Parliament has voted for, and I will work night and day with my officials in Treasury to make sure that we find a way of removing VAT from our budget. But he hasn't said anything like that. He hasn't said anything which is in any way suggestive that he's keen to remove VAT.
Well, I think give him the space. I'm sure you're aware the parliamentary process took time yesterday, and today he's in Parliament dealing with other processes. Give him the time. We, as political parties that voted for this budget, we did it with full knowledge of what we're trying to avert a situation where our country does not have a budget and create a bigger crisis than the people complaining about VAT, which is not going to apply come the 1st of May.
Okay, we will see. Thank you very much indeed. I hope he's correct. I really do. I don't want to pay half a percentage point extra in VAT, and I would like my salary, I would like my tax bracket to be adjusted according to inflation, because that way I will pay less tax than if that were not the case. So I really do hope that Mr. Mashaba is correct in what he is saying. But, we record these things, and there is a possibility that on the 1st of May we might have him back on the radio and say, you were right. My skepticism was misplaced, you were right. Or it might be another kind of conversation. Herman Mashaba, the president of Action SA. Joshua says, a new drinking game. I take a shot every time Herman tells us no VAT. What on earth was he just talking about? Will there or won't there be a VAT increase? I don't know. He believes that there won't be a VAT increase. I don't know. Let me just leave it at that. Let me leave it with the blunt, unvarnished truth. I don't know.